Chapter 23. Fragile in the Ocean. I ask Clara to check the radars to see if we've been spotted. No, everything's fine for the moment, she replies. Immediately an alert beeps and some lights start flashing. A voice message warns us of the approach of 4 vehicles. I inform Clara, we're being chased. I fix the radar and steer the Lambda towards the border before starting the transformation procedure. The speedometer reads 700 kilometers per hour. I ask Clara, how long before they're on us? She replies, in 3 minutes, if we don't speed up. They're flying at Mach 6. I change my strategy, as this is no longer the time for discretion. The Lambda rises above the raging sea, unfurls its wings and ailerons, and retracts the spikes that extend its wings. The Lambda becomes master of the skies. I feel the throttle almost return to the starting point, while maintaining the same speed. I push the lever firmly. Immediately, we're thrown backwards and slammed back against the seat. The measurement figures race past us at a furious pace. An explosion. We pass the sound barrier. And the counter continues to spin at phenomenal speed. Mach 2, Mach 3, Mach 4. I'm worried but remain silent, as the measuring instruments announce that in a minute they'll be on top of us. Mach 5, Mach 6, and finally Mach 6.8. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Shouts Clara. We're going to lose them. Her enthusiasm suddenly disappears and her voice is tinged with anguish as she says, they've just fired 8 missiles at Mach 15. The frontier is so close. We may never reach it. A radio call is heard in the cockpit. This is Squad Leader Zuna, rendezvous. Turn back or we'll maintain our missile targeting. First and final warning. I don't reply, scramble the contact and give the Lambda a desperate injunction defensive system. Various functions appear in my field of vision. I select turbo engine and anti-missile ejection. A new start is given. Our vehicle's speed increases again. Mach 7, Mach 8, almost Mach 9. It's starting to vibrate dangerously. The synthesizer announces maximum speed. Some countermeasures have been ejected. Clara intervenes. Not good enough. The decoys have destroyed 5 of them, but we've still got 3 behind us. What can we do about it? I'm not often exposed to this kind of situation. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And, like a lifebuoy lost in the ocean, Lambda's assistance appears in the cockpit, plunge strongly advised. Yes. I order, dive. The Lambda sped towards the sea, then slowed abruptly. The force field couldn't withstand such a shock, it could explode. Our aircraft quickly metamorphoses into a marine vehicle, while the last 3 missiles begin their final approach. We're hurtling towards the grayish, choppy mass of water. Only 1,000 feet to go, 500 feet. Missiles at 15 miles. Contact in 10 seconds, say the radars. An ominous countdown begins. At the same moment, the artificial co-pilot calls out immersion. It was about time. No sooner had we sunk a few meters than the missiles were bearing down on us. The explosion is enormous. The phenomenal shockwave sent us tumbling violently forward. We sink into the icy depths of the ocean, spinning like a giant top. Ominous noises are heard and the synthesizer informs us that the onboard reactor cycle has been interrupted. We've run out of power. The depth gauge churns out frightening figures, 300 feet, 500 feet. Squeaks of twisting metal rip our eardrums. The cabin won't withstand this pressure for long. I ask the pilot assistant, is there auxiliary power? The answer is a resounding no. It's a categorical no that freezes us. The descent into the abyss continues inexorably. Clara grabs my arm. We freeze in terror for a moment. The cockpit canopy suddenly cracks and water begins to seep out. We're at a depth of 700 feet and the ship keeps sinking. Clara, there's only one solution left. I'll plug myself into the machine and transmit the energy from my body. I'll be forced into a deep sleep. You'll have to lead us to safety. She screams in vain, "No, Nathan. I'd rather it be you." I squeeze her wrist as hard as I can and add, "I'm not asking for your opinion. My reactor is more powerful than yours." She nods, defeated. I immediately order my vital functions to transmit my energy to the ship. The cord coming out of my forearm is now an essential link for our survival. Gradually, I feel myself fading. My eyes close, my head tilts. My limbs go limp. The Lambda regains all its power. My last thought is for her. "Lead us to Africa, my love. I'm counting on you." Clara immediately orders the aircraft to climb back up. The counter read, 850 feet. Strange, ominous whistling sounds announced, without a doubt, the end of the journey. Her hand clenched on the joystick did not tremble, but her eyes were flooded with tears. She was well aware that Nathan only had an oxygen supply of about an hour. After that, his brain will cease to function and he'll die. Die. This fateful thought gives her the strength to fight. She pushes back the sobs stuck in her throat and vows to herself to get Nathan to Africa, safe and sound. Clara is now traveling at -100 feet at moderate speed. On her radars, the dots still indicate the presence of the squad that has come to intercept them. The 4 machines circled over Lambda like fearsome birds of prey. Then, when they reach the territorial waters, they turn back. The boundary is marked by luminous pylons, 400 feet above the water, one every 3 miles. Clara crosses it with relief and rises to the surface, ready to take flight to freedom. All danger is over. The Lambda becomes a bird again and begins a rapid flight towards calmer climes. The Lambda has now been flying for 15 minutes towards its goal, their safe haven. Suddenly, the onboard radio crackles. Clara turns off the jamming system and listens, to Epoxia's ship. To the Epoxia ship. "Please identify yourself. This is Nathan Seïndi. We need your help." 6 military aircraft are waiting for her near the border. "Please stop for verification." Anxious to prove her good faith, Clara stops the ship 5 miles in front of the patrol and disconnects her protective fields, thus becoming an easy target. "What is the reason for your presence here?" "We are in possession of various pieces of information that jeopardize our safety in Epoxia. Our leaders have led us to believe that you have disappeared completely. We request asylum." He say, "Very well, then. Please wait a moment, I'll pass on your message to our authorities." 10 minutes have passed and Clara is getting impatient. The silence is heavy. She can't wait any longer. "Hello, can you hear me?" "Yes, my husband could die if we wait too long." "Please be patient, the answer should arrive any minute now." Almost at the same moment, a voice echoes through the Lambda, "We've verified the veracity of your words. You will follow us to our nearest base. Please come forward slowly." Clara struggles to calm her racing heartbeat. Emotion grips her throat. She follows the instructions with a smile on her face. The onboard clock shows 15 minutes to spare to save Nathan's vital organs. In the distance, Clara sees an unusual flicker of light. The sun's rays are already chasing away the clouds obscuring the sky. The sea is calmer and glows with golden and turquoise reflections. Gradually, the coastline takes shape, like a gigantic canvas. Large green patches bear witness to lush vegetation. On the seafront, at the foot of a volcanic cliff, lies a huge military base. Aircraft land almost simultaneously. A heavily armed welcoming committee immediately surrounds the Lambda and takes aim. Ready to fire. Before descending, Clara orders the machine to deactivate itself and make an energetic return to Nathan.